Are we back? I think we're back. We look like we're back. I don't know what happened there. Lost you for a moment there. No errors or anything my end. But there you go. Now. We are gaining altitude. Our apoapsis is rising. Possibly not... there's the moon. Possibly not the most efficient burn. Let's see if we can bring it down a bit. Yeah, getting a bit better. Now we're burning efficiently. Let's get our apoapsis up. Taking it up to, I don't know, 80 or so. Taking it up to whatever it runs out at by the looks of things. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. About 85 is where I would normally cut the engines. There we go, let's cut them, and we are basically out of fuel in these, I think. Yes. In fact, we have 0 in those, and we're starting to burn that one. So let's ditch those. And we are drifting up to the apoapsis. There we go, we are out of the atmosphere. Let's get ourselves up nearer to the apo. Why isn't that going to... There we go, that's better. Here we go. Get ourselves horizontal and full burn. Let's get ourselves into orbit, and then we'll have a look at where we burn for our transfer. Plenty of fuel, hopefully. Yes, plenty of fuel, good. Burning a bit hard. Let's slow that down a bit. Get us just outside of 70. There we go. 70 by 100. Not ideal, but oops, wrong way. This is the way we want to go. Not ideal, but bearable. So, if we're heading to Eve, we want to be coming out that way. Think so. Yeah, burning where the periapsis is probably good. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay, so let's spin us around. I see a wow in the chat. I'm not sure what the wow refers to. Not sure what that noise is going on in the background. Don't know if you guys can hear that. Okay, so at the peri... No, let's not burn retro. Let's burn prograde. And we are burning. And let's get ourselves out of the influence of curbing. Can't really see much there. And we will be heading to Eve. Let's set that as target. There we go. Outside of Moon. Outside of... Oh, cut that a bit early then. Outside of Minmus. And there we go, that is an escape trajectory. 3,226 meters a second from there. Here we go. Speeding up time until we leave. Plenty of fuel left, which is good. And we're aiming for, well, anything really at Eve, aren't we? We need to dip just into the atmosphere and then... What button did you press to go full throttle? That was Z. The Z key. Okay, so... We are leaving Kerbin. There we go. Oh, we are not leaving Kerbin. We are apparently coming back to Kerbin. Let's... There we go. Now we're leaving Kerbin. A little bit of an extra burn there. There we go. We have left Kerbin. To space, indeed, TJ Prime. Welcome to the stream. So, somewhere here... Let's make sure we're at 1 times speed. Somewhere here... We need to... Oh, somewhere we need to correct our inclination, don't we? Sorry, yeah. So let's scrap that. Let's come to here. And we're going to be burning this way. Whoop, too far. There's a 0, 0. Okay. E-flyby return. I'm not planning on a return. We need an orbit. And if possible, a landing. I haven't got return planned. We shall see how things go, though. I'm thinking correct the inclination first. Which will be around here somewhere. Whoops, let's not go too far. Let's get us bang on target. Bang! And then speed us up. We're still 1 day away from our... Ooh, that was close. Excuse me. Gonna take the dog for a walk. Off you go then. Don't forget to pick up the poops. Yeah, that was close. That was pretty close. Not that it would have made a huge difference, to be quite honest. When you're talking, interplanetary burns, accuracy is not always such a big issue. Okay, here we go. So we'll do it as accurately as possible. T-8. There we go. Let's close that. And X to cut it. 0, 0. Look at that. Perfect. So now we have to see where we burn to actually get to Eve. Indeed, Zoidberg is a doctor, not a rocket scientist. Ooh, we're close. We're close. How close? Too close. Can we correct it around here somewhere? Yeah, we can. Okay. So, we basically need to burn now. Or now-ish. Aha, here we go. There it is, there it is. $4 million. It's a bit close, but... it's a bit close. Yeah, 4 million meters. That's a bit too close. No, it's a bit far away, but... Zoidberg Surgeon Simulator. So yeah, we're just going to burn basically. Let's. If I move this nearer to us. Does that make it better? No, it doesn't. Does that make it better? No, it doesn't. Ooh. That does, however. Ooh, 139 kilometers. I like that. We need to be dead accurate with this, but 47. My word. Okay. Well, in that case, we know that all we actually need to do is burn. So let's get our burn on. Let's get our burn on. That was a new follower. Sorry, I didn't see who that was. I think that was TJ Prime. Thank you for the follow, and welcome. Thread that needle, indeed. I'm going to do this very gently. As I say, we don't need to be pinpoint accurate. Pardon the pun with the whole thread the needle thing. But we do need to be quite accurate. Okay. Sun periapsis, Eve periapsis. Oh wow, okay. So are we in Eve at the moment? I believe we might be. What's that periapsis? 794. I can live with that. We could give it a little puff in the opposite direction. Okay, maybe not. $2 million. Okay, blew it. Oh, that's a new follower, Alexander Ratcliffe. Alexander Ratcliffe, thank you for the follow and welcome, welcome. We're pretty close. We're pretty close. We can adjust that on the way in. Are there any asteroid missions? There probably are. If we have a look for them, there probably are some asteroids floating around here somewhere. But that's not what we're here for right now. We are heading to Eve, and we have an encounter planned with a 2 million meter periapsis. As I say, not exactly where we wanted to be, but pretty close. And when we get around here, we should be able to fix that. If you use thrust limiters on the engines, it allows you to fine-tune your approach. It does. The problem is we can't change the thrust limiters after we've launched. And we would kind of need to be able to do that because we need that engine running during the launch process. Okay, at the periapsis, or nearish the periapsis. If we burn at the periapsis, let's do a correction burn. Currently at 2 million, so we want to get nearer. Does that get us nearer? No, not really. Does this get us nearer? Oh, that does. Okay. 570. 353. 190. Done it for shuttle launches. You can you? You can adjust the thrust limiter after you've launched. So you can. Okay, I didn't realise that. Right, well let's do that. Let's remind me to change it back. Let's put it at like 35% for now. I don't remember the atmosphere altitude of Eve. It is 90,000. Okay, so we need to get inside 90,000. Last time we went too deep. It's a very, very thick atmosphere on Eve. Right, we don't actually need that, do we? As long as we do it at or near the periapsis, now that we've got the thrust limiter, we can kind of just... Oh dear. Why... Oh, it's here now. Okay. Weird. There we go. $95. $83. I made my Kerbal spaceship a pancake trying to dock an asteroid. HQ was not happy. No, I can imagine. That was probably quite an expensive mistake. Now, if the atmosphere is at 90, we want to try and get an orbit first. So we don't want to dip too far into the atmosphere, but equally, we don't want to kind of bounce off and shoot off into the distance. So, how can we do this? I think if we go for about 70, which would be roughly there, that's 20 kilometres into the atmosphere. That should slow us down sufficiently. What do you think, guys? Or will that slow us down too much? It's a bit kind of hit and miss, I know. Ideally what we want to do is slow it down so our apoapsis is just outside the atmosphere. Then we do a quick burn to push our periapsis out so that we get the in orbit, and then we can transmit science while we're in orbit. I haven't got a huge amount of fuel though. And then we dip our periapsis back in the atmosphere, and that will eventually bring us down to the surface nice and gently, hopefully, so that we can land. 70,000 seems like a good idea as long as you can get into orbit. Circular or not, indeed. Yeah, okay, so let's go for that. Let's go for roughly 70, and we'll see what that gives us. So it's time to time warp. And let's get ourselves up to Eve. If you could add any mod in KSP, what would it be? I have added quite a few mods in KSP, so that's a bit of a tricky question. I do like the modular colonisation system and those kind of things. I am quite excited. Oh, okay, something went wrong, and that's pushed our periapsis right deep inside. So, how do we fix that quickly? Which way do we need to burn? We kind of need to burn that way, I believe. Yeah. So whatever they call that, I don't remember what they call that. Which is this way, isn't it? Is that anti-radial? Radial? Normal? Anti-normal? I don't know. There we go, 69. That's close enough to 70. Kerbal Alarm Clock and Kerbal Attachment System, both very good mods. Are you I'm not running with Deadly Reentry for this particular career. Obviously, once the game upgrades to 1.0, this save game's gonna roll over. So we will be running with Deadly Reentry once we upgrade to 1.0. We will also be running with all the other features that they add in 1.0, including the resource system and the mining system and all that kind of thing that they're adding for 1.0. But currently we are running 0.90 vanilla, apart from visual mods. But we're running in hard mode with 1000% penalties. That's the challenge that we are investigating at this point. And we've done okay, but we are struggling with the fact that we haven't yet been able to upgrade the VAB or the research centre. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. We are approaching Eve rather rapidly. Ooh, not too rapidly, thank you very much. Okay, so we are coming down towards Eve. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Excuse me. Let's get us. Let's get ourselves retrograde. There we go. Lovely views. Let's get a picture of that. Oh, or two, you know. And we are coming in. When is 1.0 coming out? Good question. The obligatory KSP answer is soon, with a little trademark symbol after it. It doesn't have a public release date yet. Yes, YouTube videos will be your kind of indicator. I highly doubt that I will be getting a pre-release version of 1.0. I never seem to. Certainly Mr. Manley and the likes of Danny will be getting a copy. 20th of March would be interesting to coincide with the solar eclipse. I don't know at this point. They're in the Q&A stage with some of the features at the moment. When they enter experimentals, you will know that we're getting pretty close. We are slowing down now. We can see our Apo coming in very quickly. I am a little concerned that we are not going to come out the other side of the atmosphere in time. It's going to be close. No, we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. Come on, did we do this perfectly? Did we do this perfectly or what? 74... 75, 90 is the atmosphere. Now we're going to be inside Moho. We're going to be inside Gilly. Well, you know, I couldn't have done it better with the calculator. I could have done, you know, the Apo could have been down here somewhere. But actually, that works well for adjusting the Peri and burning us into the atmosphere later. So look at that. We are back out of the atmosphere. What are the objectives? Well, these are the objectives. Where's Eve gone? Here we go. Achieve orbit around Eve, transmit and recover scientific data from space around Eve, land on Eve, and transmit or recover scientific data from the surface of Eve. If we can do all of those in one mission, I will be more than happy. Over the moon being the appropriate term. Under this particular moon. Okay, up to the Apo. Point in prograde. Let's put ourselves in orbit by pushing that outside the atmosphere. And there we go. We have an orbit. 33,750 funds, 135 reputation. Let's go back to the craft. It's probably not going to let me... it's not going to let me do that, is it? How do we transmit science? We can't, can we? Grr. Should have brought some mystery goo. We did last time, I think, didn't we? On the Q2 we added mystery goo. Didn't think of that. Okay. If we judge it just about right, we might be able to do it. Let's get ourselves retro. Get our periapsis back inside the atmosphere. We'll get it quite deep in this time. We'll get it to like 60 or 50. 50. Whoa. Okay, 40. Oops. But what we'll do is we'll take it very gently as we go in, and hopefully we can get from space around or something like that rather than upper atmosphere. I don't really want upper atmosphere. Not too fast, not too fast. Oh, hang on, let's get ourselves prograde. That's probably a good idea. Good idea. There we go. And let's get ourselves spun round. There we go. So that we know where we're going. Oh, in space near Eve. Transmit. There we go. 68 science, 68 rep, and 33,750 funds. I really didn't think we were going to get that, but there you go. That's in space near done. Then hopefully, as we enter the atmosphere, we'll be able to get an upper atmosphere reading. Where's the sun? Over there. Okay, so we've got some sunlight. Oh, by the way, if any of you don't have a copy of Kerbal Space Program yet, it is on sale, 40% off with the Humble Bundle guys at the moment. There's Upper Atmosphere. We've already transmitted that one. Okay. Fair enough. We must have done that on the last pass. Now, last time we ran out of fuel doing this particular bit. So let's just let the atmosphere slow me down. I am not touching a thing at this stage. This atmosphere is... Oh, that's a new follower. Shiva145. Thank you for the follow and welcome, welcome. Let's let the atmosphere do the slowing down, because this ridiculously thick atmosphere is actually very good at slowing us down. And it almost kind of plopped us quite gently. Last time. I don't read update stuff, so what's special with 1.0? Sorry if kind of obvious, not very technological. 1.0 is the first official release of KSP. And they have added a lot of things, a lot of changes. They've changed a lot of the aerodynamics, they've changed the drag, they've added Deadly Reentry as kind of a stock mod now. They're adding, what are they adding? They're adding resources, so mineable resources, a bit like the Kethane and the Carbonite mod. They're adding that now to the stock game. What else are they doing? I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff coming in 1.0. Lots of bug fixes. Lots of all sorts coming in 1.0. It is going to be a very big update. One of my favourite things to do, I don't know why, is putting my Kerbal into an EVA during re-entry. Really? That's one of your favourites. Okay, it's gone dark. That's not good. I thought that we had plenty of sunlight, but we've travelled a lot further around this planet than I thought we were going to. Man, this thing's slowing us down a lot. It's not actually Deadly Reentry, by the way. It's not quite as... From what I understand, it's not going to be quite as punishing as Deadly Reentry. Deadly Reentry tends to work well if you're using like the RSS mod, the Real Solar System mod, but tends to be a bit extreme when it comes to... Oh, I just remembered something. Let's put our thrust limiter back up. Whew, glad I remembered that. Yeah, Deadly Reentry is not very forgiving, whereas the version that they are putting together for 1.0 is slightly more forgiving. So you might not have quite so much of a problem with it. They're not adding Kethane as such, but they are adding resources. They're adding stuff that you can find and mine and turn into stuff. So it's like Kethane, but not quite the same as Kethane. Notice I've not burnt at all since we entered here, and we're already down to 115 metres a second at under 10,000 metres. B9 they won't be adding, but they are adding Mark III space planes, or more Mark III space plane parts. So that'll be quite interesting to have a bit of a play around with. At least that's what I understand. I understand that's what they're doing. Ooh, this ground's coming up on us pretty quickly, isn't it? I'm going to slow us down. We have quite a lot of fuel. How about remote tech? Remote tech would be nice, but they're not adding remote tech, not at this stage. Could have done with putting lights or something on this thing, couldn't I? Here comes the floor. What? What? How? How is that possible? We were not going that fast. We were not going very fast at all. I might have to put a... I might have to get like some kind of replay on that. I don't get that. I don't get it at all. We were doing like, what, 6 meters a second? We got the land on Eve. We landed on Eve. 50,000 funds, 135 reputation. I was under 10. I was under 10 kilometers an hour. We can actually... we can log the temperature. Can't transmit it though. Because if only I had to put the antenna on that. Let's turn the SAS off. Not that that really makes a difference. Why are we using power when I'm not doing anything? Weird. Well, as I say, we have a temperature reading, but we can't transmit it, so we can't complete that last little tick on that contract. How annoying. How frustrating. That's really, really annoying. We came all this way and we landed on the flump, the purple planet. And what can you do? What can you do? The probe will indeed be dead in a minute. The power is draining. Oh well. Oh well. Well, we're going to have to come back with another mission. It was so close. So close. Oh well, 1,921 science we have and 714,000 funds. Our reputation is up here in the 900s. What can you do with that, you know? We're getting offered all sorts now. We're getting offered to explore Bop, Gilly, Ike, Jewel. Lots and lots of things that we could be doing. But what we really want to do is complete that Eve contract. How much is that worth to us? That's worth 33,000 funds there and 331,000 funds there. That would put us over the million. The reputation would put us over 1,000. The science would put us over 2,000. No, it wouldn't. Okay. The science... Well, the science with the transmitted science would put us over 2,000. Well... If you take the Gilly contract and upgrade the VAB, you can complete both at once. In theory, yes. Whoops. But the advance for Gilly is only 64, and we can't afford to upgrade the VAB because it will cost us 2.1 million funds. Because of the 1,000% penalties that we're using. So nice plan, but the birds have gone. Someone got rid of the birds. What's going on with the tracking station? It looks like it's just covered in scaffolding. Maybe it is covered in scaffolding. Weird. So, we kind of need to do that mission again. But I'm wondering if perhaps we should be heading for Duna this time. Mind you, we're not going to be able to land on Duna, are we? Manly mode. Yeah, indeed. Manly mode. That'll do. This is hard mode with 1000% penalties. We didn't up we didn't reduce the rewards or anything like that for this particular one, because that's just too difficult particularly for a live stream. But this is hard mode with 1000%. Why don't you put parachutes on your probe? Well, that's not it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all, really. Do we have the parts for it? We have one part available on this craft. One part. What do we think? Should that one part be a parachute? I think, given the results from that last mission, that perhaps it should. And I do believe that this should become a part of the main craft. A part of the probe, rather. The probe body. Rather than being on this fuel tank in case we lose the fuel tank again. So this would be the Q4. Should we try it? Should we do a quick attempt? We've done the contracts on Moon and Minmus. So they're not really an option at this point. A lot of the contracts we're being offered are not really going to boost us that much. Which is why we're going for Duna and Eve. Ouch. Itchy ear. Excuse me. I put so many parachutes on a probe to Eve that it descended like 3 meters a second. took forever. I can imagine. You'd have to open the parachute quite low for this landing. I mean, as you can see, we were only doing 100 meters a second at like 10 kilometers or whatever it was. Yeah, I think this is quite a good plan. Let's save this and take this out to the launch pad. So again, are we going to try and complete this contract on Eve, or are we going to try and take this thing to Duna? What do we think, guys? We've managed all we've got to do is transmit science from the surface. That's it. That's all we've got to do. SAS on. Throttle up. I'm going to launch it and you guys can decide where we're going after. Oh no, I can't do that because we need to line the planets up, don't we? Egypt. Where are we now? Eve. Yeah, we have kind of landed at Eve. Okay, so we're going to have to wait wait a year or so. I feel sorry. Excuse me. I feel sorry for the people stranded around the moon at the moment, because we're kind of, well, you know, we're waiting like a few years, and we've got 3 guys on the moon, around the moon. At some point, we need to go and get those, but we haven't unlocked the. Have we unlocked the large capsule yet? I don't think we've unlocked the large capsule yet. That'll be once we upgrade the research centre. Which planet is in position? None of them really. It's a bit of a weird time of year. Duna needs to be ahead of us. Eve needs to be coming up behind us. I'm not really sure about Moho. Moho probably is nearer. I've never tried deliberately to get to Jewel, Dres, or Elu. So I'm not really too sure where they need to be. I'd have to research that. But we certainly managed to get to Eve all right. So let's wait for Eve to come up behind us a little bit, and we'll be good to go. About there, I think it was, wasn't it? So, oh, it's daytime. Okay, throttle to full. SAS is up. Got a parachute this time. Let's make sure that's in the right place, which it's not. Let's put that there. Let's move those because we moved those in the end last time. Okay, we're good. We're good. SAS is on. Throttle's up. Here we go. Take us back to Eve again. This has turned out to be a very handy little design, this craft. Come on, up we go. Again, a little bit of a wobble as we take off, but we are off. We are going. Everyone has got the cough. Yeah, certainly everyone where I live has got the cough. Looking good, looking good. We're on our way back to Eve. Incidentally, if you follow my YouTube channel, I've got a few ideas for a couple of series coming up. My YouTube channel's kind of taken a bit of a back seat recently because well, I just haven't had the motivation, and I've had a lot of work on, so I've not been able to make many videos for that. But oh, okie dokie, TJ Prime, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I plan to revive the YouTube channel with a few new series, non-KSP series. I think we've kind of got KSP covered with the live stream, and I do post all those to YouTube. So I think we've got that kind of covered. But I'm looking at a couple of other indie games that we could have a look at a series for. One of those being RimWorld. I'd quite like to do a series in RimWorld. I'd also like to do a series in Peri-Arion, which is a Mars colonisation game. I did a first play video for that on my channel, and it's been a remarkably popular video, which suggests that people might want to see more. So I'm looking at the possibility of doing a series on Peri-Arion. I'm also waiting for a Steam key, a pre-early alpha, a pre-early access Steam key for a game called Track Day Manager from the guys over at Arctic something, Arctic Studios or something like that, which is, I don't know if any of you played the old kind of Grand Prix Manager kind of series of games, but it's something along those lines where you don't actually do the driving, but you manage the team and you control the orders that are given to the team during the flight during the race. And I've played the kind of the alpha outside of Steam, but there are some bugs that they are going to be fixing with the aid of the Steam API. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that once it's in Steam. That's a multiplayer racing game kind of thing. Looking very interesting. Starting our turn now, we're at 12,000 kilometres. 12,000 metres, 12 kilometres. Let's take this turn nice and slowly like I did last time. And we'll keep an eye out for these engines failing on us. Once again, there's quite a bit of fuel in these. There we go, starting to lose power in those now, so we're getting ready to switch, which I will do now. try to keep our prograde up. No, it's not going to stay up. It is dropping. Oh well. We are going... Oh, we're a bit far zoomed out there. Let's zoom ourselves back in. Here we go. Well, the Apo is rising. Not ideal, but we will get there. We will get there. We managed it last time. We will manage it this time. Eve on the cheap. Indeed it is. It was about 20, I think with the extra parachute and the extra fuel and things, we're looking at probably about 25,000 funds. Have you ever collided with the debris after staging in previous sessions? Yes, I have. Not with this particular probe. But yes, in the past I have indeed collided with the staged off debris during the launch process. Certainly not an ideal situation when you're launching a rocket. This is going to switch to orbit mode in a moment, isn't it? About to lose these. So not as efficient a launch this time. There they go. Not as happy with this launch as I was with the last one. But we did end up with a lot of fuel last time, so let's just focus on getting ourselves into orbit on this occasion. Let's cut the engines at about 82, 80, well, 85 we did last time, didn't we? So there we go. Let's cut the engine there, because we're still quite deep in the atmosphere, so that's going to drop off a bit as we're taking off. Yeah, not great. Not great, but bearable. So let's get ourselves out of the atmosphere. That's probably a good way to start. There we go, out of the atmosphere. Apo stayed at 85, so that's not bad. Coming up on the Apo now. Get ourselves prograde. We can actually afford to get a little bit closer to the Apo because this engine is surprisingly powerful. We are burning at full burn. Oh, we've actually gone past the Apo. That wasn't quite what I had in mind, but never mind. We'll be okay. There we go, we're in orbit. Hey, that's not bad. 75 by 87 this time. And about the same amount of fuel left. So actually it's worked out roughly about the same, so that's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's get Eve set as our target. And again, our periapsis is in not such a bad position, so let's go. We'll burn from the periapsis. Not ideal, but not terrible. I know that we should kind of be burning. In fact, yeah, we should be burning that way, really, shouldn't we? Okay, you know, we'll just do that. We'll do it the proper way. Our Apo's not too high, so it's not so bad. Somewhere about here. Prograde, please. That's about there, and burn. Oh, is that on my headphones? I'm only using one ear of my headphones because these are the new. I mentioned them last week. These are the new Pump Audio headphones that I got sent a free set of, and they are extremely good, but the noise cancelling on them is actually a little bit too good because I can't actually hear myself. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. That'll do then. We are slingshotting off the moon slightly. I don't think the parachutes. Mind you, the atmosphere is pretty thick, isn't it? Yeah, you could be right. But I'm going to let it slow down quite a lot before we worry about that. Okay, so we are going to get a bit of a slingshot off the moon, and that is then firing us off out of the solar system, possibly a little bit faster than we had in mind, but there we go. And we are away. So now, oh my goodness, we almost have an encounter with Eve already. What way do we need to go to get to perfect that? Okay, so we actually need to burn the other way. That's quite bizarre. I've never had that happen before. Ooh, no. Okay, so we're not actually going to get a full-blown encounter, so we need to correct. We're not quite in the right place to do the correction burn either. There we go, that's as close as we're going to get for that particular burn. So now if we go it's a tricky burn, this one. 70 million. 67. 76. What if we do it a bit later? $75, 82. Okay, tricky situation then on this one. If we burn very soon, we will have to burn actually the burner we soon. The sooner we burn, the better it is. Okay, so if we do that, and then we can correct it again on the way in, like we did before. That's not a bad idea. So let's get ourselves up to that. $68 million. Okay. So we're heading to Eve. Can I now set focus to Eve, please? No, I can't do that. Okay. So let's come over here. I'll make sure we get the blue one and not the purple one. And it'll be somewhere here. 68 will become 67, 60, 43. Okay, so we're going to need to do this sooner, I think. This is tricky. This is tricky. Not quite sure what we did wrong or what we did differently. I think maybe we came in a bit soon on this one. Come on, where's the purple one? Where's the blue one? Not the purple one. Can't read that. I've returned. What happened so far? Well, we are heading back to Eve. No, it looks like it's going to have to be a big burn here. We're heading back to Eve, but our planned encounter is not ideal at this stage. $44. Still 44. 54. 52. Man, this is tricky. We might have to just leave it as it is, and then we'll just retro burn when we get there. In fact, that's probably. What are we? Oh, we're watching the wrong. Let's watch the right thing, shall we? Yeah, I'm going to get there, and we'll just have to retro burn when we get there. We've got some fuel. Got a parachute this time though, so hopefully we won't need to burn quite so much to slow ourselves down this time round. Okay, it takes us a day to get to there. This is going to be quite some burn. We may have messed this one up. It's full throttle. It's not making a huge amount of difference. Come on. Come on, be enough, be enough. Where's Eve? Oh, there it is. Really cutting this fuel fine on this one. Oh, 11,000, that's a bit much. That's a bit too steep. Should have brought some monoprop. We did that at one point, didn't we? $50,000. That will slow us down sufficiently. We have a little bit of fuel left. So hopefully, we're taking a very different angle in at this point, but hopefully that angle will be sufficient to slow us down eventually anyway, whatever happens. We are coming into Eve. Here comes our apoapsis up. So, we will definitely be making contact with Eve. Indeed, careful now. Periapsis is still nice and high. Fuel level is making me nervous. Yeah, it's making me nervous as well. But we have got a parachute this time. We're slowing down nicely, thanks to the mighty thick atmosphere of the purple giant. Ho ho ho, purple giant. We're nice and high. Plenty of time for us to slow down. Let's let the atmosphere do its job. Well, I'm sure that's probably not the job of the atmosphere, but in this setting, let's let the atmosphere do its job. It's still a possibility it might rip. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility it might rip, but I'm going to let us slow down as much as possible before we blow the parachute. Let the atmosphere slow us down. Bear in mind, I didn't start burning until we were well under 10,000 kilometers. 10,000 meters last time. I mean, look, we're coming under 500 meters, and we're at 25 kilometers already. G-force is just over 2, so if we can we'll keep an eye on that. The atmosphere is still slowing us down. The G-force should drop slightly as we come down, and as long as we're at like 1.5 Gs, the parachutes shouldn't have too much of a problem. Still nice and high. We're going to lose the sun again. That's a pain. Would be nice to have landed on the sunny side. Sunny. Musical interlude. Down to 160 meters a second at 13 kilometers still. G-force is under 2 Gs. So we're doing okay. This thing's going to slow us down quite significantly. What I could do is I'll do a quick burst with the engines, fire the parachute and cut the engines, and then we'll see what they do on the way down. Ooh, we're kind of getting a sunset here. This is interesting. Nice green glow from the sun as it sets. A little bit of light on the on the craft itself. Down to under 100 meters a second at 7 kilometers altitude. So, and we're under 2 Gs. Is that a sunset or is that a sunrise? I'm not sure which way we're facing and which way the sun is from us, but okay, let's... Right, that increases our Gs. So, right, I'm going to go for the parachute. Parachute is out. That will continue to slow us. It will hopefully pop at 500 meters. Don't have a lot of fuel for it to test if that is going to be the case. So let's burn a little bit. I haven't got a lot of fuel. Okay. We have got a little bit of daylight still, haven't we, here? Our solar panels are still charging. 8.1 meters a second. That's not bad. That's not bad. And as we get nice and low, we will burn just a little bit. We will continue to slow down slightly. I don't know what the impact tolerance of this engine is. Perhaps that was our problem last time. Perhaps that's got a particularly low impact tolerance or something like that. Like 5 meters a second or something. Here we go, we're almost down. So let's just burn a little bit. We have just safely landed on Eve at a slight angle. But yes, we are on Eve. I need to get a screenshot of this. Let's get one where there's a little bit of daylight behind us. Yeah, let's get that little wisp in the background. Lovely screenshots. Oh, wrong key. There we go. This, I believe, is actually my first ever safe landing on Eve. And now we're down. We can finally complete this contract by taking a temperature reading. Temperature range between very cold and hot enough to boil water. Indeed. Let's transmit that. What is the actual temperature? It is 148.15 degrees. That's pretty hot. And there we go. For transmitting the science, we get 33,750 funds. We get 68 science. We get 68 reputation, and we have successfully explored Eve for 331,676 funds and 635 reputation. Fantastic. Now we can't repack the parachute because we haven't brought an engineer with us, which you now need to do. But this thing has solar panels on it. It has a little bit of fuel in it. It has a thermometer on it. And it seems quite happy perched on the side of this little hill here on Eve. Let's get a couple of extra screenshots. Oops, let's get one without the UI on it. There we go. One without the sun. Is that actually a sun? rise? What? I think it is actually, isn't it? What way does Eve rotate? I mean, we're kind of on one of the poles anyway, aren't we? So it's a bit hard to tell, but there we go. It seems like that might be a sunrise rather than a sunset. Interesting. However, that is a successful mission to Eve. We have successfully completed that contract. We now have in the coffers 1,058,000 funds. The reputation thing doesn't appear to have moved, and we have 2018.5 science available, which we can't spend because we've unlocked everything that's under 100 science points, and we don't have the 5.1 million funds that we need in order to unlock the next stage of the tech tree. Because of my cough, I'm thinking maybe we will leave it there for this evening because my throat is getting quite sore, and I don't want to make my throat worse. So, what we will do is we will leave it there for this week. It has only been a relatively short stream, I know, just over an hour. But what we will do is we will come back next week and we will attempt to complete the mission to Duna. That might be a bit more tricky, but in the process, hopefully, we will be able to unlock enough funds just to upgrade another one of these buildings. My goodness, 8,750. 8,750,000. Time over here is 11 PM. It is exactly 11 PM right now. There are a couple of things for us to upgrade that don't require masses and masses of funds. However, the vehicle assembly building is the one that we are going to need to be unlocking the soonest. That's 2.1 million, so that's what we're aiming for at the moment. Oh, that's a new follower. That is Bismarck Slivinsky. Thank you for the follow and welcome. So our next aim is to unlock the next stage of the vehicle assembly building so that we can use action groups and up to 255 parts. Spaceplane hangar I'm not too worried about. Astronaut complex I can do without for the moment. Administration building would be nice to upgrade so that we can unlock some extra strategies, but not really important. The research and development is very important. It's going to be a while before we have 5.1 million funds. We will have to see what kind of contracts we get offered. Occasionally we will be given some ridiculously high paying contracts, particularly the satellite ones actually. Oh look, science station from space around Ike, just randomly. Here you go, get some science from around Ike. Science from around Mimas, that's 73,000 funds, that's not bad. That's an easy one. 91,000, 87,000. So some of these probe launches are quite good. Plant a flag on Duna. That's going to be tricky. 48,000, 189,000, 530,000 for exploring Bop. That's not bad. Gilly, Ike, Jewel. Jewel's a relatively easy one because actually you can't land on Jewel. So it's really just about getting an orbit and transmitting the orbit data. And that would unlock 283. So we could be looking at a mission to Jewel after Duna. Temperature scans ones are just really time consuming, as would those ones be. But they do give you very good rewards. Tricky to know. But that's all for a decision next week. We decide what we're going to do with those. Next week's mission will be to get into an orbit and land on Duna and transmit some science from Duna. Until that time, thank you for watching, guys. If you are watching this on Twitch, please don't forget to hit the follow button if you haven't done so already, so that you get notifications next time we go live. If you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so that you get notifications next time we transmit some videos via the YouTubes. And we will be adding some new series hopefully soon on the YouTube channel, as I mentioned earlier in this stream. So thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next week, if not before. I've been El Bristow. You've been watching Elitopia Gaming. And I will see you next time. See you later. I saw that. That's a new follower. That's just the jelly, and you've already followed me. So welcome again, but you've already followed me. So thank you, I think. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.